Why you want to record it?
Well, I'm recording this. I'm going to send it to you, and you
You want
will
me to
have
make you
to
famous?
approve. You'll have to approve it for me to send it to Stewart Iskowitz.
You're just trying to get
Okay?
me, just trying to make, you want me to make you famous. That's what it is. I get it.
No, not me famous. Not even you famous.
I'm just
But
joking.
Peace Project of New York could be famous because it could be the model for every penitentiary in the
It's the
country.
system, the way the system is set up, though. I mean, from school, from the laws, the way that they're set up, especially now, is just like it's so hard to parent, and then something happens with the children, they blame it on the parent, but it's really the system how it's fucked up. Because you look at what I'm going through. I got arrested for defending myself, and my kids attacked me. So it's just like I don't understand the laws how they work. I raised them; those are my kids biologically. Since they were born. Mom victimizes herself, and the guy's in trouble. Now it's a different kind of mindset on how to stay away from trouble. Because everything you say and do gets labeled. But it's tough. It's just tough. People are very selfish, and it's all a system, a scam. I swear, they make money off of each one of those prisoners, and
How do
it
you
could be
know?
better.
How do you know? Can you
Well, the
say
proof
more
is out
about
there.
that?
I No, not really, not off the top of my head, but I heard it somewhere, and I did my research, and it's true. You know, we just gotta stay focused and don't give them that time free that that's when people tend to get into trouble. Teach them a career, teach them to work, teach them to stay out of trouble and be independent. Don't believe in the system. Don't depend on the system. Depend on yourself. And self-esteem is a very important thing for a child. That's how that child stays away from all the negative stuff. Having even one parent could do it. It's tough. It's super tough, almost impossible. But it has been done. Doctors, lawyers, and even people that screwed up before they turned their lives around, and that's amazing. I know that the pain and suffering that I caused made me change, and I wouldn't if I had a chance to redo it. Even though I know changing that would change who I am, I would still change it. I would still talk to that kid and give him like a hug. Let him know that he's loved because kids they don't interpret things right, and that pain grows and changes, and you got career criminals that slip up of a parent, of a father. See, I was tough on my kids because I saw that change in behavior. I noticed how they were acting a little like they're stoned, talking in certain ways. And I would walk in the room and all the conversation stops, and I pointed those things out because I was that kid to their mother, and their mom was always against me. No, that's not what it is. I'm like, stop. That's where the problem started. I should have left sooner. Can you do? I don't talk to her. We went out on Saturday to Lake Compounds. It was me, my daughter, and my youngest son, and my daughter's friend, her girlfriend, and their mother. It was all five of us went out, went to Lake Compounds. I paid for their entrance, had a good time, and we're over there, and I didn't really. I talked to her for a little bit. I bought her a drink. They had like these. It's Halloween season, so they got the characters. They got these little Bloody Marys is a bag with rum, like literally like an IV bag, and in the straw, you unclip it and you drink out the straw. So I bought her one of those, fried dough, of course, and we had a good time. But I was very minimal. I was very careful in the things that I said to her because I know at any minute we can have an argument. So I was trying to avoid that. She comes from a lot of trauma, and how we started dating and why we started dating, it was literally my choice of dating her was because I felt bad for her. She was such a great person, and her family never cared about her, like abandoned her, quick to just leave. And everybody's leaving. She had no money, so she had to stay there. And I was like, I got some money. Come on, you want to go with your family? I'll go. We'll go together. That's how it started, Lori. I swear, she was in the hospital. She had cutaneous vasculitis. It's like something with your blood sugar, and her legs blew up. It was a chemical reaction from her going to the beach on ecstasy. We were 18 years old. 18 years old. I had just turned 18. She was already She's 5 months ahead of me. And her legs swole up. We had to take her to the hospital. And I remember when we got there and they gave her the room in the ER, her family just left. They all got in the car. It was like five of us. And it was just me and her. And I'm like, hold on, your sister's leaving, your brother's leaving, and your mom's leaving? Who's gonna stay with you? You can't walk, you can't get up. And then she just gave me this look like, you are. She didn't say it, she just gave me the look. And I was just like,
Oh,
I'm gonna stay with you. I told her move over because the bed was, they gave her a big bed. And she moved over. I laid down next to her and she just looked at me. She's like, what are you now? I was like, I don't know. And she was like, my boyfriend. And I was like, yeah, I shook my head. Yeah. I was a month of dating after a month of dating with her. May 29th. We started dating in April 29th of 2002. But I had to notice that, the trauma that she was in, the stuff that she believed in and the stuff that I believed in were different. They weren't the same. We saw eye to eye in a lot of things. Like she likes drums. That's one of her favorite things. And I'm a drummer.
oh, wow.
And
Yeah.
she likes music, certain kind of music, and so do I. And she's like, "Oh my god, but you like the hip hop and the trap music, and this is where the league." And I start singing it, and she'll be like, "Oh, she'll be like, you sound like the person." You know what I mean? Like I'm up to date with the music. I like a little bit of everything. Certain things that we've seen in life, we shared, and we feel the same way about. But when it comes to religion, it's just like she's left, and I'm on the other side. If I want to go up, she wants to go the other way, and it's just like, man, I can't keep doing this. It came to the parenting and me telling her, not really, they're coming out with a plan for the week. She wouldn't follow that plan ever. Her first excuse to help her family out, the people that never were there for her, drop everything so she don't have to clean the house and she go hang out with her sister or her brother or her mom or whoever it was, her sister-in-law. She don't even like her sister-in-law. And I'm there cleaning at the house. And the kids watch that growing up. Mom don't listen to you. Why are we going to listen to you? That's what it turned out to. Kids start snapping at me because I was highly, I expect a lot of discipline in my home, morality high at all times.
But I'm stuck back on something that you said. Did you, did Vicki ever agree with the plan that you made? You said you came up with a
Of
plan and she
course,
would find every reason not to follow it.
of
Did she
course.
agree to the
Yeah,
plan?
of course. Because the thing was this, I would never, I was always in the street. This is before we had kids, right? I was always in the street running around, right? Doing the wrong things. And she was always chasing me, like following, like I'll go to the building in the back on the rooftop and she'll pop up out of nowhere everywhere I went. And this girl, you know what? Let me get the fuck out of here before I get her in trouble and let me keep her safe. And I would go to her mother's house or I would go to her block, to her sister's house, and we'd just hang out there. And, it started that way to the point where I was, I moved in with her like a month after. After all of that, her mom sat me down and told me straight up, you're always in the street, and I don't want to happen to you what happened to my son, and you go to jail for a long time, or somebody will kill you. So you're very reckless. And then she like, I, Lori, like I said, I used to, I was a knucklehead. Used to walk around with guns on me, and that old lady took my guns, took my money and my money, the drugs and the guns, and hid them for me. And she'll make sure that I
Vicky's
was safe.
mother? You're saying
Yeah.
Vicky's mother
the
saved
first
your
2 year
ass.
yeah, the first 2 years that I lived with Vicky, that I moved in, her mother told me to move in because she told me what she told me. She was like, whatever you have on you, this is my house. I'm not gonna touch your stuff, but I don't want you to hold on to that. I want to put it away for you. And here, take stuff out my pocket, gave her stacks of money like this, 50s and hundreds, and she would save that for me. And that was a special love that she gave me, as a like if I was one of her own. And my mother would never approve of that. That's the first thing I said. But she did it because she didn't want me selling drugs out of her house. And if something happens, she don't want me getting into shooting or somebody shooting me because I have a gun. And she's going to bed. You know what I mean? She wants to make sure everybody's in the house. And it's 1 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock at night. That woman used to stay up waiting for me, and God bless her. That's why she would
God
always
bless
have a
her. Where
special
is
place in my
she?
heart. She's in New Jersey. She lives in Trenton. She moved out of here like 7, 8 years ago.
When was the last time you saw her?
Last year. She's here all the holidays. No, bullshit. I saw her April of this year. Every couple months I stop, she'll go to Vicky's house and I'll stop over.
Does she know how grateful you are that she saved your life?
Not really. You know what? I said it to her. I said it to her a few times. And she sat down and talked to me, man. I tell you, when I was acting a fool, man. I was that kid that was 17 years old and sad because his father passed away and mad at God, and try to rebel at the worst ways. Like what they told you not to do, you're gonna do it. If this is breaking the law, you're gonna break that 2 times as bad. That's what my mentality was at. I didn't even think I'll see 21. I didn't even care. The reckless things the harm's way that I put myself in. And the people that I lost and watching what happened to them, because I was very observant, and I was always in the mix. And I watched what happened to them, and man, it's sad. The ones that are alive, they're junkies. They had no career. They lost their homes. They lost their families. It's sad, and they'll settle for that. They're okay in their mind because they're drugged. The heroin, the fentanyl. It's crazy. And I always told myself, I'm not going to be like that. Before that happens, I'm going to start going to the gym. I'm going to start going to church. I'm going to get a job, make a lot of money. And that's how it was. I started with my hardwood floors, kept myself busy. As soon as my son was born, I learned that profession, and I told myself I have to be there for my children. He's going to grow up and he's going to see what I do. And this is not what I want him to see me do because my dad didn't do this and this shit is wrong. It's not about me no more. I'm living for that person. That's my child. I'm his father. And that's how I was. I started cutting my friends off, but I was still dibbling and dabbling in the streets. Not as much, but still, I shouldn't be in those places. And then my daughter was born. When Vicki was 7.5 months old, I got arrested and they locked me up. My friend had a gun and there was drugs in the car, and I took the blame for the drugs. Can't snitch, the code of the street. And I ended up doing like 6 months for that, and then they gave me 3 years in probation. Um, I kept my mouth shut, and this is something that only the criminals in certain places in Connecticut and people from Waterbury that are criminals know. The detectives in the 90s to the 2012, 2018, around that time, they're not there no more. But the ones that were there, they used to plant drugs and evidence, and they used to make fake statements and have both co-defendants go at it at each other. And some of them killed each other. And it was all a lie that the detective made to see who rats on who. And they gave my friend a fake statement. They gave me a fake statement. I threw it off the table and started laughing. They beat me up so bad, Lori. My eyes were like this. My nose was like this. And when I opened my eyes, they were red. Blood clots. They took a phone book and they punched the phone book so I don't have the marks because I had to go see the judge.
Obed,
I'm
I
telling
gotta
you,
stop you. I'm
you wanted
having
to hear the
a
story, right?
visceral reaction here. You
You
know
want to hear
what?
my story,
Something
right?
crossed my mind. I wonder what you think of this. Here's what crossed my mind. I don't
What's
know if
that?
it'll land for you. I don't know where it came from, but it was like I got an image of you helping Vicki. You were the person who was there for her in the hospital with her leg all blown up from a reaction to ecstasy and some other drug she was on,
I was
right? You were
skinny,
there for
Laurie.
her. Then her mother saved your life, literally, from what you're telling me, she saved your life. And now I think you want to help Vicki so much, you just are not going about it in the right way.
You think so? I don't know, man.
Don't you think so?
If you knew all
Don't
the,
you feel like you have said to me, I love her to death? Don't you feel like you want to help her in the worst way?
I
But
can't
you're
help her
going
and have
about
her
it.
disrespect. Listen, I can't help her and have her disrespect me in the process. That can't happen. That causes a domestic violence with me
Oh,
being the
bad.
victim.
The way you're going about it, that's what I'm saying. The way you've gone about it innocently has brought disrespect to you. The way you went about it the best way you could see to go about it, which was making a plan, getting on her case, telling her what's wrong with her, telling her how her beliefs in New Age or whatever it is full of, you know
Well, I
what,
mean,
she's got to come to
when you see
Jesus. And
when you see somebody go from okay to getting better to straight bad to forgetting and losing her job and getting caught up with thousands of dollars in debt and using the little income that we get from our income taxes to pay her debt. And I'm still with no help. I'm not
she
asking
got
her for nothing,
lost.
but I
She
thought that
got
she would
lost
smarten
just
up.
like you were lost in the streets with the guns and the
But
gangs
how
and
can
all of
that,
that.
Lori,
She got
how
lost.
how can that work backwards as you get older instead of when you're younger and you're trying to change yourself and maturing? She did it backwards. She's mature now, but she's doing shit that I want to do what I want to do. I was like, wow, even if the kids get thrown in the middle of it, like even if it costs them.
But Obed, that's what I'm saying. That's like blame. She's going to back off. She's going to back away from anything that
I
smells the
wish
least bit like blame. She
I,
can
I
smell blame coming from 30 yards away,
yeah, I know.
right?
Yeah, yeah. You know how people you know how you go and park your car, right? And the people your company helps you and they'll be like, oh, a little bit to the back. Hey, stop right there. I do that every time she parks. And it's not that she's a bad driver, she's a very good driver, right? There's some things that she doesn't that I don't agree on that she does. I call it more like causing an accident. She calls it as an responsible driver. Yes, she is. I'm an aggressive driver. Um, and that saved my ass so many times, especially in Waterbury. People doing this in red lights. They don't even stop when it's yellow. They just speed up. So your light turns green. I'm like, stop, look both ways. No, she just keeps going. And then it never happened, but it almost happened twice that I was in the car. I'm like, bro, slow down. If the light was yellow, you would stop right away. It just turned green from red.
I thought you said you're the speed demon.
I kind of am, but not lately. Ever since 2019, I stopped speeding like that. I got into those two bad car accidents. I mean, I got hit in my head too many times to the point where,
Obed, I want to go back. I really want to go back because we don't have that much time. I know you got to rush off to the gym soon. But
oh yeah, yeah. Keep
I
talking. I
want
got
to
my
go
headphone on.
back because there was something you said that was so powerful to me.
What's that?
I have to remember.
Uh oh.
It was
Uh oh,
really
Lori.
powerful. It had to do with the fact that you there's a very deep part of you that adores Vicki and wants to take care of her and make sure that she doesn't go astray,
Excuse me.
that she
Yeah.
doesn't get in trouble, that she doesn't harm herself, which is
Yeah. Oh yeah.
beautiful. That part of it is beautiful, but
I learned.
but you're not listening. You got to listen.
I'm listening.
Oh,
I'm
forget
listening.
what
Go
I'm
ahead. Go ahead.
saying.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. But she takes it in as blame,
Yeah.
as you're trying to be her father, you're telling her what she's doing wrong, you just want her to be somebody she's not.
Yep.
You want to love who she is, that she's an explorer, she's interested in metaphysical aspects of life.
Oh man.
She's
What?
an explorer. And by you saying all of that is wrong without like exploring it with her, without saying, share with me, tell me what you love about this. Tell me, and then you could share what you love about your Christian roots. But you don't
Well,
want
I
to
mean,
share what
everything
you
is
love until she has shared what she loves.
everything is pretty much the same, especially when it comes to like Christianity. Like even mythology. Certain the gods and all that. It all, it's almost the same
Yeah,
story.
but oh, but it's
So
better. Can you sit with me where I can see you? Because
yeah,
you're
I'm
also
coming
not
down right
coming
now.
through really clear. The
Can you hear me
sound,
better now?
yeah, that's better.
Okay.
Um, but here's the thing. you are listening to whatever she's talking about, gods or mythology. You're listening to her through your beliefs about what gods and mythology stand for. I mean, if you take a course on the history of Greece,
Yeah,
the history of Greece is all about mythology. It's fascinating.
it is.
It doesn't mean that you believe in something. It just is interesting that people made this up about mythology.
Yeah.
It's
Nah.
interesting. I mean, there's sculptures, there's artwork. If you go
Yeah.
to Greece, if you, I've not been there, but a very good friend of mine is from Athens. I can't wait to go
From
to
where?
Greece.
From where?
It's fascinating.
No,
A
but where's your friends
story.
from?
It's story just like the stories in the Bible.
Yeah, I
They're
know.
just different stories, but the stories that they tell are pointing in the direction of your wisdom, what you see
Hmm.
as wise and common sense and making sense. Does
Yep.
that make
Yep.
sense?
Yeah, it does. It
It
does, Lori.
does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sometimes I never know what's going to come out, Opie, but sometimes it comes out and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. We can tell, right? There's like a truth meter inside of us that knows when we're making sense and when we're really
Well, I
off
mean, even
course.
while we're having conversations like me, I just take a minute and be like, hold on, did that sound right to myself, you know?
Yeah. What do you mean? That's not right to yourself. What do you mean?
No, like when you're talking to somebody, you're always second guess yourself. Is that right? Let it register for a minute and then question yourself
Yeah.
at some point
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
in the
yeah, yeah, right.
conversation, you know?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's beautiful. Where'd you learn that?
Come on, Lori, I'm 40 years old. What do you mean?
Yeah, but I'm 71 years old and I don't think I learned that when I was
I'm
40.
sorry to tell you, Lori, you need to get out of your house more. you need you need to get out your house more, Lori. For real.
I get out a lot.
Oh man.
I've been at airports lately. I'm going to be in another airport in a month. I was actually in not that far from you. You know Wendy, the nurse who I'm always sending you the book. She does Sunday webinars with the author of a book called uh shoot, what's the name of that book? I can see it. It's a yellow background, not resurrection. It's
Don't let it kill
revolution.
you.
I think it's called, I don't know what it's called, but they are showing the three principles in the Bible.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
Well, there's a lot of
yeah.
things. The Bible's a way
So
is a way
they're
of living.
showing how the Bible talks about the three principles. It doesn't say mind, consciousness, and thought. It just uses different words. And
Yeah.
the author is going to be, I send you these emails and you don't look at them. The author is going to be here the end of the month.
Oh yeah?
And it costs money, but I'll bet you anything, as a good friend of Wendy's, he will let you come free if you bring Vicki.
If I bring Vicky. I don't know. When is that? What's the date?
I don't know. I'll have to send it to you. I could look for it
Definitely
while
need the
we're
date so I
online.
can see what I'm doing at that time on that day.
Oh, so I can see what I'm doing. I'm trying to tell you that there's nothing that will be more important for you to do. It really feels that way to me. Let me see if I can find it.
What if my kid
Oh,
has my daughter got the football game that she's every Friday, Saturday, they have football games at her school, you know? My kid
this is Sunday. This is Sunday.
Sunday.
I know that much. I know it's Sunday.
And then I got my mom that has to go to me personally. My mom's going to the Poconos to my what's in Pennsylvania, the Poconos, right?
Yes, that's
So
one part of Pennsylvania is the Poconos.
she's
That's
she's
one
going.
part of it.
Yeah, I know. That's where my aunt lives, though. She's going to Poconos, and my uncle's having surgery, so I have to get her car ready for the road. It's a lot of stuff I got to do. I got to go to her landlord's house, work on his car, It's just the season.
Sorry, I was just typing to Wendy to send me the link. So you were saying, whose car are you working on?
My mom's car, and then I got to work on her landlord's car, which is my sister's in-laws. My
So I know
uh-huh.
we got to go soon, but can you tell me if anything landed for you in what we were talking about, you and Vicki, how the two of you have been angels for each other? And excuse me for using that word. You know what I
It's
mean,
fine.
right? It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor
It's
for
fine, Lori.
how you have taken care of each other. Her mother saved you. You saved
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
Her family left. They had to go do stuff, and you stayed with her in the hospital while she
Well,
had her foot blown up.
she had she's the youngest one in her family, and it's
But
funny because
Obed, how did it land on you? What I said about you want to help her. The
I
deepest
told
part
you
of
that's
you wants to help her. I get that.
yeah, I know. I
You've
know that.
just,
And
but it's frustrating to you because it looks to you like if only she would obey you, she will be fine.
well,
But
no,
that's not how it works.
the word is hostile. If she wasn't so hostile towards me with anything, then that's what I'm talking about.
She is hostile in reaction to feeling like you are wanting her to obey you.
Yes, bingo.
What did I just say?
I don't know. I probably heard it wrong, but
I
yeah,
bet you heard it. Say what you
she's
heard, because I can repeat it, but I think you heard it. Say what you heard.
basically she thinks I'm controlling her. I want her to do what I say, and it's not like that. I just
Right?
want her to follow a
Right?
schedule. I want her to follow a schedule so I can follow along with her and build a life.
But
We can't be
Obed,
against
can
each other.
you see that she is in reaction to that? Her
Um,
behavior is reacting to can't be controlled. I cannot be told what to do. I
yeah,
cannot. That that's part of her wounding. That's part of her, what's the word? Trauma. That's part of her trauma being controlled.
yeah.
You don't mean to control her. That's not what you're
It's
not trying to control her.
I'm not.
That's
No, no,
not
no.
your
You're right.
gig. You don't want to control her. You just want to help her. But
Yeah,
in the way you've been going about it, it feels to Vicki, which I think you can understand why. It feels to Vicki like you're trying to control her. But that's
yeah.
not your intention. Your
Not at
intention
all.
is to help her.
Yeah, for real.
Am I the only one doing a face palm here?
I'm blowing my
Am I
nose. I'm
the
sorry,
only
Laurie.
one? Because I really want Vicki to hear this. You and then Vicki, and you can tell me where to cut it, but I'm so glad we recorded this because this is priceless for Vicki to hear.
I mean, I love her to death. I just don't like the fact that we
There
can't
you
even
go
have a
again.
normal.
I love her to death. There you go again. You know how many times you've said that to me over the years?
Oh man,
I
yo,
think it's
listen,
been
I
2 years. How
that was my
long? When
friend.
did I start
Listen,
seeing you?
she's my friend for 20. She was my best friend. She was my everything for a very long time in my life. And to walk away from that and seeing where it's going and how it went, it's just like I wish I changed a lot of things, and I know the damage that I've caused. But
What would
man,
you change? What would you change?
the hanging out, the getting high. At that time, I was, we're talking 18, 19,
But that's
20s,
happened. But that's
even in my
happened.
30s.
That's not who either of you are today. Today is a new day. That's over in the past. You're
I wish it was.
reinventing yourself. Somebody famous said something about rewriting. We're rewriting our story every day. Some famous author like Robert Frost, somebody like that. I don't know. We're
I believe it.
rewriting our story every day. Look at how you've written your story. My God.
Yeah. Um, I
You
did it
never
for my
thought in a
kids,
million
Laurie.
years you could, you in a million years, if you stopped to think about it, you never would have believed you could have gone out on your own, get an apartment, figure it out, set it up,
Nah,
feed
that's the thing.
yourself,
No, that's the
all
thing.
that stuff.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. And I knew that when you try hard, I knew that I was scared of, being broke, being homeless, not being able to provide for my kids because rent is expensive. But it's been working out, man. I just been, like I said, I don't be in the places where I don't need to be. I'm all about my kids. Whatever my son wants to do, we'll do. That's what I'm about, finding an establishment for him and making sure he gets back and forth to school fine. Today was his first day on the school bus, and everything was good, thank God. He had a good time and I'm happy for him. He's 11 years old. That's my youngest one. And he's
The first day on the school bus from where you are, from your place in Southington?
no, Laurie, I took him to school this morning, but he got on the school bus for the first time because he has an Uber that picked him up after school to his mom's house because that school didn't have a bus stop close enough to the house. The bus stop was 3 or 4 corners from the house,
Oh,
and I don't want him walking that area. It's a bad area by himself,
right.
or my other kids, his older brother and sister, or
Yeah,
sisters, walking with him to the bus stop. In that area. I'd rather not.
yeah,
But this one's in the corner where he lives at, right at the
yeah,
corner of the street, and hey, let's
yeah.
make it happen.
Doesn't it feel wonderful to care about your kids? What a great
Hmm.
feeling. Not everybody gets to have that.
I know, I know. I mean, it's all about decisions. What do you make? The decision that you make in life. You gotta when you do things, you gotta do it for the best. You gotta do it for the right reasons, and stay focused on what you want. And when you get your gains, keep building and keep getting better and better and better. Till you go where you need to go. Life is tricky. One minute you're here, one minute you're gone, one minute you have it, one minute you don't.
Well, that works for you. That worked for you. You're doing well. I did not live my life that way, Obed.
No, of
I did
course
not
not.
live my life
I
that
can
way.
tell.
And it worked out great. I wasn't like, I don't know. I just like followed the flow. I was working at community mental health agencies. I was an art teacher. I was an art teacher. I think I told you the story. I never planned to do this because my parents said, be an art teacher so you're home when your children are home.
Yeah.
And I didn't have children, not because I wanted them. I wasn't blessed with them. My clients are my children.
I hear you.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't matter what age my clients are. I care about every one of you. But, it's not my responsibility. All I can do is share
Yeah.
what I have seen about life. And
Yep.
you can do the same with Vicki. Share what you have seen about life, but let her share what she has seen about life without judgment, without
Mm-hmm.
the judgment piece. And that's the hardest for people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's why I went to Copenhagen in Sweden for, groups of 25 people who wanted to learn how to listen better.
Mm-hmm.
So the biggest joke is I'm deaf. I am pretty much flat out deaf for now. Pretty much flat out deaf.
How?
But I have a cochlear implant. I've got a hearing aid in this year for the two cilia that remain. So the biggest joke is that I'm going around the world teaching listening and I'm deaf. How do you make sense out of that? You can't. You cannot
Oh
make
man.
sense out of that. I wrote a book about relationships and I've been single longer than I was married. And my ex-husband is in after she was the third or fourth wife. He's finally got the one that works for him. He's 80 now,
Nice.
you know, good for him. And I have a good life. And I still hope that I'll have time to have a partner. You have your life partner. You've just been going about it wrong as far
Oh,
as
Lordy.
trying to make her do what you say. It works for you.
I tell you, man, it's just like, ooh, I
I have to tell you the truth, and I hope Vicki hears this. I hope that one day you can cohabitate, the two of you, because it'll probably be less expensive. But for me, I've lived alone for so long, I can't imagine cohabitating. I would
Yeah.
have to live in a duplex. He has this door and I have my door. And when it's time for him to go, bye-bye, see you in the morning, or see you in an hour, or see you for dinner. I need my
I know, right?
space now. That's what you need. You need a
Yeah.
duplex.
What you mean duplex?
They have a lot of them in Waterbury, but I like
Yeah, no shit.
Southington
Well, if I'm
better.
gonna
I
buy,
think Southington's better, right?
yeah, of
I
course,
lived
way
in
better.
Waterbury from age 3 to age 7. Did you know
Yeah,
that?
those times that doesn't matter. Those times were different. We're talking about times that don't exist no more, and nowhere in the world except for in a third world country. I'm dead serious. The morality's gone, and there's most homes don't have parents, don't have two parents in any home in the United States.
Wow.
Lori, I got my
Well,
mom calling me. Let me let you go.
yeah.
Want to call
Okay.
this a
I'll
quits?
send this. I'm going to send this to you.
Okay.
Oh, and look at your, hang on just 1 second. Can you wait just 1 second, please? Because I want to
I
get the
just
thing from Wendy. Where's the chat? The link. Oh, she didn't get it. Give me the link. Anyway, look on your email. I'll send you a text to look on your email, which is OB at 564 or 465.
no, that's not my email.
Which
O-
email?
OB Music 13. That's my
OB
email
Music 13. I'll send it there.
at Gmail.
Bye.
Bye, Laurie.
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
All right.